Today is February 24th, 2026. Many important news stories are happening in the United States. People across the country are talking about politics, weather, safety, and the environment. News like this affects everyone, from big cities to small towns. This essay will help you understand what happened today. We will talk about the president's big speech, new rules about trade, and a strong winter storm. Other topics include soldiers coming home, a security scare, and new decisions about protecting nature. If you see a hard word, don't worry, I will explain what it means. The goal is to make the news easy for everyone to read. Each section has short sentences and clear facts. Let's get started with the State of the Union address, one of the biggest events in American politics. Last night, President Donald Trump delivered his highly anticipated State of the Union address to a packed chamber in the U.S. Capitol. This annual event is one of the most important nights in American politics, as the president stands before Congress, the Supreme Court, military leaders, and millions of viewers across the country to outline his vision for the nation. The State of the Union is a special speech where the president reviews the country's progress over the past year and lays out plans for the future. It's a chance for the president to highlight achievements, address challenges, and set the tone for the year ahead. Millions of Americans tune in to watch the address live on television, stream it online, or listen on the radio. For many, it's a moment to hear directly from the president about issues that affect their daily lives, from jobs and healthcare to national security and education. The State of the Union is a long-standing tradition in the United States, dating back to the country's earliest days. It's a symbol of democracy and transparency, giving citizens insight into the government's priorities. In his speech, President Trump focused on several key topics. He talked about the strength of the American economy, emphasizing job growth, rising wages, and new opportunities for workers. He also discussed national security, promising to keep America safe, both at home and abroad, and highlighted changes in foreign policy meant to put American interests first. According to President Trump, the economy is stronger than ever, with more people employed now than in previous years. He pointed to new jobs being created in manufacturing, technology, and other industries, and said that American businesses are thriving thanks to new policies and tax cuts. The president also addressed the importance of national security. He spoke about supporting the military, strengthening borders, and working with allies to fight threats overseas. He assured Americans that their safety remains a top priority for his administration. Looking ahead, President Trump shared new plans for the coming year. These included proposals for infrastructure improvements, healthcare reforms, and education initiatives. He called on Congress to work together to pass legislation that would benefit all Americans. Trade was another major topic. President Trump said he wants to protect American businesses and workers by renegotiating trade agreements and changing trade rules. He argued that fairer trade deals will help American companies compete globally and keep jobs in the United States. He also announced plans to bring some U.S. military troops home from overseas deployments, saying that it's time for America to focus on rebuilding at home while maintaining a strong defense. These are significant promises, and people across the country will be watching closely to see if the administration can deliver on them. The State of the Union often sparks debate and discussion, as citizens and lawmakers consider the president's proposals. Ultimately, the State of the Union address reveals what the government considers most important for the nation's future. It's a roadmap for the year ahead, and a reflection of the administration's goals and values. Throughout the speech, members of Congress from both parties responded in different ways. Some applauded enthusiastically, while others remained silent or showed skepticism. These reactions highlight the divisions and debates that shape American politics, and remind us that the State of the Union is not just a speech, but a moment that brings the nation together to reflect on where it stands and where it's headed. The U.S. government announced a new tariff today. A tariff is a tax on goods that come into the country from other places. The new tariff is 10% on most products from around the world. Some countries and items are not included because of trade agreements. President Trump says the tariff will help American companies. He believes it will make U.S. products cheaper than goods from other countries. This could help U.S. workers and factories by creating new jobs. However, experts warn that tariffs can also raise prices for American families. When it costs more to bring things into the country, stores might charge more for those items. This can make food, clothes, and electronics more expensive. Businesses and world leaders are watching closely. Some countries may put their own tariffs on American products. This can lead to trade disputes, which are arguments between countries about buying and selling goods. A powerful winter storm, named Blizzard Hernando, is sweeping across the Midwest and Northeast, causing widespread disruption and concern for millions of people. This storm is not just any ordinary snowfall, it's a major weather event that's making life very difficult for everyone in its path. A blizzard is a dangerous type of snowstorm, defined by its strong, gusty winds and extremely low visibility. When a blizzard hits, the blowing snow can make it nearly impossible to see even a few feet ahead, turning roads and neighborhoods into a whiteout. These conditions are not only frightening but also very hazardous for anyone who needs to travel or be outside. Blizzard Hernando has dumped heavy snow and freezing rain across many states, coating houses, trees, and roads in thick layers of ice and snow. Temperatures have dropped well below freezing, making it even more dangerous to be outdoors. The icy roads are slippery and treacherous, increasing the risk of accidents and making travel nearly impossible in some areas. The weight of the snow and ice has brought down power lines in many neighborhoods, leaving thousands of homes and businesses without electricity. For many families, this means no heat, no lights, and no way to cook food or charge devices during the coldest days of winter. Major cities like Chicago, Detroit, and Buffalo have been especially hard hit, with widespread power outages affecting entire communities. Residents are bundling up indoors, trying to stay warm as they wait for help to arrive. Utility crews are working around the clock, braving the freezing temperatures and deep snow to repair downed lines and restore power. However, the damage is so extensive that it could take several days before everyone has electricity again. These workers are true heroes, risking their safety to help others. Officials are urging people to stay indoors, keep warm, and check on elderly neighbors or anyone who might need extra help. Communities are coming together, with neighbors helping shovel snow, share supplies, and support each other through the storm. For those who must go outside, walking through the deep snow is exhausting and slow. Many roads and highways are completely covered in snow and ice, forcing authorities to close them for safety. In some states, travel bans have been put in place, meaning only emergency vehicles are allowed on the roads. This helps keep everyone safe and allows emergency crews to do their jobs. Only emergency workers, like police, firefighters, and ambulance crews, are permitted to drive during the worst of the storm. They are working tirelessly to respond to accidents, help stranded drivers, and make sure people get the help they need. The storm has also caused chaos for travelers. Over 2,000 flights have been canceled or delayed at major airports, leaving thousands of people stranded and waiting for news about when they can get home. Airport terminals are crowded with frustrated passengers, many of whom have been waiting for hours or even days. To help with the emergency, the National Guard has been called in. The National Guard is a special part of the military that helps during disasters like this, providing extra support when local resources are stretched thin. National Guard soldiers have been rescuing drivers trapped in their cars, delivering food, water, and blankets to people stuck at home without power, and helping emergency workers reach those in need. Their efforts are making a big difference for families facing the worst of the storm, showing how communities and the country come together in times of crisis. Another major story making headlines around the world is about U.S. soldiers leaving Syria. After years of military involvement in the region, the United States has begun the process of pulling its troops out of certain areas. This marks a significant shift in American foreign policy and has sparked a lot of discussion both in the U.S. and internationally. The government announced that it is time for many troops to come home, reuniting with their families after long deployments. This decision is based on the belief that the mission in Syria has changed, and that the presence of American soldiers is no longer as necessary as it once was. This process is known as a troop withdrawal. It means that military forces are being reduced or removed from a region where they were previously stationed. Troop withdrawals can be complex and require careful planning to ensure the safety of everyone involved. The main reason for this move is that U.S. leaders believe local forces in Syria are now better equipped and trained to keep the peace and maintain security. Over the years, American troops have worked closely with these local groups, helping them build the skills needed to protect their own communities. At the same time, the U.S. Embassy in Lebanon is also making important changes. Embassies play a crucial role in representing American interests abroad, and ensuring the safety of U.S. citizens living or traveling in foreign countries. An embassy is a place where a country's diplomats work in another country. Diplomats handle everything from helping citizens in trouble to negotiating with foreign governments and reporting on local events. Recently, some American workers have been asked to leave the embassy for their own safety. This is because tensions in the region have been rising, and the U.S. wants to make sure its people are protected. Such decisions are never taken lightly and are based on careful assessments of the situation. These moves, both the troop withdrawals and embassy changes, are part of a new U.S. plan for the Middle East. The government is rethinking its strategy, aiming to adapt to changing conditions and new challenges in the region. One of the main goals is to avoid getting involved in long, costly wars that can last for years. Instead, leaders want to put more focus on solving problems at home, such as improving the economy, healthcare, and education for Americans. These decisions have sparked debate across the country. Some people think bringing troops home is a good idea, believing it will save lives and resources. Others worry about what might happen if the U.S. has fewer soldiers overseas, fearing that it could lead to instability or new threats. U.S. officials say they will continue to watch the region closely, using advanced technology and intelligence to monitor any changes. They promise to send help quickly if the situation demands it, ensuring that American interests and allies remain protected. Above all, the U.S. government promises to protect Americans wherever they are and to keep working with partners in the Middle East. By building strong relationships and supporting local efforts, they hope to create a safer and more stable future for everyone involved. There was a security scare at Mar-a-Lago, President Trump's private club in Florida. On Sunday, someone tried to enter the club without permission. Security guards stopped the person and called the police. No important guests or staff were hurt. Police are still investigating. They want to know why the person tried to get in. So far, they say it does not look like a major threat, but they are being careful. Secret Service agents were also present, which is normal at places where the president stays. Incidents like this can be scary, but security teams are trained to handle them. The public will get more information after the investigation is finished. People are talking about how to keep important places safe. Safety for leaders is always a top concern. The Environmental Protection Agency, or EPA, announced new rules this week. The EPA is the government office that protects the air, water, and land. The new rules make some protections weaker. This is called a rollback. It means some old rules are being canceled or changed. The government says these changes will help businesses by removing what they call unnecessary rules. They believe this will save money and create jobs. Industries like oil, gas, and mining support the changes. But many environmental groups are worried. They say these changes could harm nature, pollute the air and water, and make climate change worse. Some groups are suing the government. To sue means to take someone to court to solve a problem. The courts will decide if the EPA can keep these new rules. People can share their opinions by talking to lawmakers or joining groups that care about the environment. Across the country, people have strong opinions about today's news. Some are happy with the president's plans and believe new tariffs will help jobs. Others are worried about higher prices or what might happen in the Middle East. In cities hit by the blizzard, neighbors are helping each other. Many are sharing stories about power outages and travel troubles on social media. Community centers are opening doors to those who need warmth and food. Environmental groups are organizing marches and sending letters to Congress. They want leaders to protect natural resources and keep America's air and water clean. People are also watching updates from Mar-a-Lago, hoping for answers about the security incident. It is important to remember that in a big country, not everyone agrees. That is why talking, listening, and learning are so important. Today was a busy day in the news. We learned about the president's speech, new trade rules, a powerful storm, and changes in both foreign and environmental policies. We also heard about a security scare and how people across the country are reacting. News like this shapes our lives. Understanding what is happening helps us make good choices and stay safe. It is also a way to feel connected to others in our country. If you want to learn more about any of these topics, you can follow the news or talk to your teachers and friends. What story do you want to hear more about? Share your thoughts and stay informed.